Let's go! That's what I'm talking about, man. Total team effort. I love it. I absolutely love it. Because what you showed with a win like this is resilience, right? I remember back in, I want to say 2017, 2018, the Carolina Panthers going to the Philadelphia Eagles Stadium. They're down 17-0. Come back in the fourth quarter. Amazing comeback from Cam Newton and company, right? Now, this doesn't feel quite like that, but man, it felt close. I love to see a team that can overcome adversity, even from somebody that's causing it consistently, right? This Bryce Young turnover thing is a problem. We'll talk about it a little bit more tomorrow on Mint Street Mondays. Don't forget to catch us there, right? But despite the turnovers, to come back and have this kind of resiliency, right? Not just on offense, defense, special teams, everywhere. The team responded. It's almost as if they finally listened to everything that we've been saying. We know that you guys have it in you, right? And sometimes it just takes some time. Sometimes it just takes time for you to be able to understand and know the playbook, know the, things about yourself that you're learning as you develop those things throughout the season, right? Conditioning from that perspective. Now, I know some people may argue, like, man, from a conditioning perspective, they should have been conditioned, coming out of the, preseason, off-season training camp, all that stuff, right? But you never really have the full feel of what it's like, especially for a young team like this, right? You don't know what it's really like until you're in game and have those situations, happening week to week, right? And you experience those things. So this to me was one of those type of wins that is really a statement for your team. A team that came in, yes, they lost Tyreek Hill, right? But they still had a pretty big high-powered offense. Jalen Waddle still out there. Darren Waller destroying you at the beginning of the game. And you had an answer. Despite the 2 turnovers, despite, like I said, seeing Darren Waller do what he was doing during that point in the game, early on. You held the team to 19 yards rushing, which brings me to the next point. Rico Dowdle. Man, look. There's sometimes when guys don't get the kind of opportunities that they deserve in other places, right? And sometimes it's good, right? I think we look at this from the quarterback perspective a lot, like Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love, Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers, right? And these guys get to go and sit and learn and develop, all these good skills from seeing someone that does it at a high level do it consistently. Maybe that was the case for Rico Dowdle. He got small sample sizes. But when they called on his name, especially last year, you saw a 1,000-yard rusher. It appears that the things that he got to take a chance to just kind of sit back and learn are paying dividends, right? Because you got to think, there were some guys, that are on that roster. For a time, Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard. There was a lot of people in front of him that kind of kept him back from really showing what he could be, right? And they even drafted other guys like Deuce Vaughn, that they wanted to try to see if they had something with. So I'm glad to see that Rico got his opportunity, and boy, did he take advantage of it. 200 yards on the ground is insane, right? This is the kind of spark of a running game that you could really see taking shape and shifting. So what I would be interested to see moving forward is this. Just how bad is the Chuba Hubbard calf injury? And when he comes back, what do you do with that, right? I know Chuba's got the contract. Chuba's our bell cow guy. But, hey, I'm sure we can all acknowledge when we look at what we just saw today, that was different, right? Because it wasn't just the fact that you had the explosiveness, whenever he had the ball. It was also his catching out of the backfield, his blocking, some big-time blocks, to set up some, longer developing plays, And so this was just amazing. He even actually said that his plan, and I guess this is mainly from what you're looking at on tape and what you're, scouting, what the, coaches are telling you, and what you're doing in your own film study. He said he was going to go for 180 yards today.
You thought you were going to run for 180? I mean, you kind of exceeded your expectations. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, just putting trust in those guys up front. Like I said, we knew we would be able to run the ball, as I keep saying. Coming into the week, it was just a matter of how well we were able to run it. And definitely had great confidence in myself and those guys up front. It worked out in our favor, like I keep saying, and I thought I could do it. We were given the opportunity and definitely took advantage.
The first 2 games.
See, I like that, man. I mean, that's what I was talking about when I mentioned Jimmy Horn, right? Jimmy Horn Jr., big time 4th down play, really with the game on the line, right? It's 24-20. You don't convert right there, and it's game over. To have the kind of, just mental attitude to say, hey, I'm going to rush for 180 yards. Hey, I apply pressure. Pressure don't apply me, right? That's the kind of stuff that you need. Look how infectious that energy was. Derek Brown plowing into the backfield and getting a sack on Tua. Then you're starting to see your linebackers play better, man. Christian Roseboom had a day. Trevin Wallace played a lot better. Man, one of the people that I was really, really surprised to see out there, and this is something we're going to talk about a little bit further tomorrow, Corey Thornton at the nickel. Man, that was really interesting, right? So these are things that are just going to continue to improve as these guys gain confidence. That's what's like a statement win like this, a comeback win like this, I think is more impactful even than the 30-0 shellacking of Atlanta, right? This is the kind of, because this shows you what you have internally, even for Bryce. And look, yes, I tweeted some crazy stuff earlier, right? And I'm going to stand on that, man. Like, you cannot, I thought Bryce was going to go to the bench, honestly. Actually, I didn't think he was going to go to the bench. I actually said that I thought he should go to the bench because it is demoralizing as a defense to get big stop after big stop and the ball be turned over, right? And we still got issues that are being dealt with that need to be addressed as far as footwork and things like that are concerned. But you know what? He also made some big-time throws. And I tell you, man, stuff like that about him can drive me up the wall sometimes because you can see it in him, right? And maybe it's just one of those things that he just has to learn new things. He's comfortable with playing. He has to play a certain way because of his height and size, right? We understand that. But I think from a footwork perspective, maybe there's small things that you need to incorporate that when you're going to do specific things, you need to change up how you drop back and things like that. But you also have to worry about the nuance of understanding that people are going to see that on film. So if you give away that sell, then people are going to know, right? But then it just becomes, hey, I'm going to do this regardless of whether you see it or not on film, and I'm going to execute. Because that ball sailing over Xavier Legette's head, that was 100% feet, right? So it's not so much an arm strength issue as much as it is a foot issue. Foot work. And so hopefully this is something that they can, kind of tweak and work on in season. But these kind of habits are hard to break, especially when you're an anomaly at the size that you are playing the position in the first place, having to switch and do something like that in real time, right? These are off-season things that you want, to work on. So, but either way, I'm glad that Bryce got some get back. I'm glad the 2 touchdowns were good, man. That one throw to XL, I mean, that's the stuff that just drives you crazy because it's a big-time throw. That's a big-time anticipation throw for XL to kind of bend the corner on a guy in the corner of the end zone and make that catch. And salute to XL, too. Look, it's been tough going for XL lately. But as I said in my last video, the reason why I can't speak for everybody else, but I speak for those who, support our channel, right? And those who, may think a little different. Personally, I believe you got it in you, big dog. I really do. I believe that you have the ability to be great. I think it's going to be whether or not you believe it and whether or not you're consistent with it, right? So we saw some great today. There was that one gaffe of, where he kind of was lined up, offsides or whatever like that. But after that, man, I mean, blocking, you know what I'm saying? Like big catch, a couple of big catches. McMillan, big catches today. I just love to see that the cohesiveness, man. I love when XL caught that touchdown, man, the first person over there to him, darted from the other side of the end zone over to him was McMillan. I love that. Showing love to your guy, support to your guy. So yeah, man, this was a statement win for the Panthers if there ever was one. I'm excited to see what they do to build from this. We got Dallas coming in, Rico already talking like he ready for it. You know what I'm saying? Understanding like, hey, I know I'm here, but I know I was there. Should have got more opportunities. So yeah, we're gonna bring it to them. And they got to come to the bank, which so far looks like we're gonna protect all season long. I'm amped, y'all. I know it's week to week. One week we up, next week we down. This is the cardiac cats if I ever seen it, right? But you know what? It's a week-to-week league, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to celebrate this win. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure to come through tomorrow for Mint Street Mondays. Every Monday at 10 a.m., live show. We'll interact, as well and have our special guest on. So, hey, I can't wait to talk to y'all tomorrow morning, man. Good team win, y'all. Keep pounding.